finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
Hey, welcome everybody. We're here. I'm coming to you.
I like your view. It's beautiful.
My view's good. It is very beautiful. I'm coming to you from the graveyard of the Atlantic. The Outer Banks of North Carolina, which we'll talk briefly about, and then we'll get into some more important things with regards to our relationship. But yes, the graveyard of the Atlantic. How many shipwrecks do you think have happened here?
You're asking me a history question?
Yes.
100.
3,000.
What?
Yes.
Well,
because it's so shallow coming into the shore that, and this goes all the way back to the 1500s. Like I'll show you here. There's this map.
Fascinating. Okay. You know what? We're starting over for people just joining us because you got to learn. You got to learn how to introduce a show instead of just talking. So I can't see if there's anybody even watching this live stream yet because you are in charge. But we're 3 minutes in and we're starting officially.
Yeah, we're starting officially as far as the audio version.
Welcome to DOCTALES with Cocktails, everybody. Tim is away. I'm in the studio alone. And he is, look at that. I got to figure out which way to point. On the, the coast, the Outer Banks. He'll tell you in a minute. We still have fun doing these episodes when we're apart because you guys get to hear and see a little bit of different scenery. And so thanks for joining us. And if you're listening to the replay on your commute or wherever, it's going to be a fun episode with Tim talking about his adventures and this special week up ahead. So, all right, Tim, I was just going to say it looks almost lighter and brighter there because you're just that wee bit further north. I'm looking out the window. The sun my sunset it's much, it's a couple minutes ahead of you because you're further north and it looks a lot lighter there.
885 miles north.
That makes all the difference.
So my buddy I'm kiting with lives in Montreal and it's 60 miles closer to Montreal than it is to Sarasota. It's crazy.
That is some interesting data there. And
correct.
So it's closer to Montreal than it is to Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's how far south we are.
That is. And you know what? With the way the weather's been here, I've been feeling like I'm far south. I've been in my pool every day, doing a little laps, working my legs, getting my swimmer's tan on. So yeah, it feels very tropical here. So tell everybody, you said there has been how many shipwrecks there? 3,000 shipwrecks where you're at? Because
I'll show you. I'll bring them.
Since the beginning of time?
Since since they started coming here in ships, which is the 1500s. So here's a little mappy map.
This is a map of the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
So it's a gigantic sandbar system that it goes from basically almost the border of Virginia down. Okay. So on the west side, you have Pamlico Sound. On the east side, you have the Atlantic Ocean. All right. So that's pretty cool. And so we kite in the sound largely. And there's quite a bit of wind here because it's basically in the middle of the ocean. But here's the shipwreck map. Every single one of those little microfiche lines is
Wow. That is insane. So I'm looking at the map and it's actually, I'm surprised at how long of a chain of islands there are. I mean, it really would be like keys only their islands.
Yeah, there's actually not that many islands. There's about 4. And we're on Hatteras Island.
Uh-huh.
And so interestingly, further north there's Roanoke Island, which is it's the oldest English colony. It's older than Jamestown. It's called the Lost Colony because these people moved there, and then 15 years after they moved, they sailed ships from England. They went to go find them, and they were all gone. They just like vaporized. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. So 3,000 shipwrecks. It's known as the graveyard of the Atlantic. Tons of piracy. So the town of Nag's Head, which is 20 miles north of here, got its name because they would take nags, old horses, and tie boat lanterns around their neck, and then they'd walk around the dunes, and it would look like the swaying of the nag's head would make it look like a boat was moored there. So they'd come in at night, they'd see the lighthouse, and they'd go, "Oh, there's a boat moored there," and they'd run aground, and then the land pirates would run out and steal everything from the ships.
I want to know, I might look this up, where the term nagging came from. If a nag is a horse's head, is that right?
Well, it's a horse. It's an old horse.
So how does nagging have to do with horses? Anybody know? Throw it out in the comments. I wish I could read the comments, but I'm a guest on the show and I can't. I have no control. Yeah. How does the term nagging relate to horses? I don't know. Horses don't seem to be too needy,
right.
bitchy.
So I'm going to do a couple very, very short videos to give you kind of a sense of what it's like. So this first one here.
You weren't even. Okay, that's it's a very loud audio for our listeners, and
I got rid of that. But that's me. I'll play that one again with no sound.
It's you.
That's me
that's
kiting
on the sound. It's not in the ocean.
Yeah, that's correct, because I would be drowning otherwise.
So it's shallow there, and
it's quite shallow there.
Looks like you had a pretty good run. You didn't even laugh at my joke. You go on a roll. You start talking about stuff. I'm talking about nagging, and horses.
What you're saying, like horse-faced woman or something like that? Like
just
where was I
over your head? No comment. Anyway, nice cup. Where did you get that lovely
I got
martini
that at Buc-ee's.
glass?
It's the martini glass of appropriate size. Look at that thing. It's massive.
Is it
huge.
insulated?
It's huge.
Is it insulated?
And it does, and you can put a.
Is it insulated?
Oh yeah, it's insulated.
Did you get me one? Did you get me one?
No, but I can get you one when I drive back through South Carolina, because on I-95, in the 885 miles, there's one Buc-ee's. Believe it or not.
Didn't get your wife an insulated martini glass?
What color do you want?
The crowd says boo.
Okay, so I'm going to add one more. I'm going to show you one more video. It's a little windy, but there is narration and it's quite interesting. So check this out. So this sandbar. Hey, what a good place to like build a highway on. Basically, nothing.
It's making me laugh, but it kind of reminds me of some of the part of the East Coast here of Florida when I went with Jake down the A1A as he did his race. There are parts close to that, maybe not quite that narrow. That's just ridiculousn's. No, gotta wonder what happens to that in a hurricane.
Well, road. It goes underwater. There's parts. It's wild because they have to keep building these new bridges. Like they just put this gigantic new bridge in because the old road just basically got consumed by sand. Like it either gets consumed by sand or it gets consumed by water. Like take your pick. So it's a super great place. It's a really interesting
consumed by sand. At least it's still preserved. You can ride your
so there's places that like get consumed by the ocean, and then other places where they get a big storm and it moves all this sand around. So I like whatever. It's quite interesting.
So you're having fun, and you're not in snow. You're not shoveling it like I was when I was gone.
Negative.
And nobody's injured. Any medical stories going on up there? Not really.
No, not really, which is good. It's good. It's been relatively pain-free. I mean, other than some of us are older and we get beat up, especially like me, because I'm like the least experienced. So,
Well, I found some good, I should have brought it to show everybody. Some good pain relieving cream that's amazing. It's a new thing. I got it here at the local market on Sunday.
does it have weed in it?
The stuff I bought does not. Now, our neighbor friends were with stopped at the CBD/mini THC infused bombs for his aches and pains. The stuff I got actually is tallow because we know how much we like tallow. This stuff I didn't suggest putting it on your face because there's a lot of essential oils in it, but they have a pain cream tallow that is amazing. I've been putting it on my elbow and my right arm that's been bothering me. It's got turmeric in it. So there is orange, or you almost look like a carrot. You have to be careful with it, as well as some other essential oils, lemon, I think rosemary, oregano. But that turmeric, and there's some capsaicin, that combination of anti-inflammatory in the tallow, and it's all organically sourced, really works amazing. The company, I have their card right here. I'll get it in a second. Is local here. And I'm telling you, you go out in the sun. I put a little bit of that on and walked around in the sun. Ooh, did that light up? Okay. So here's a plug for you, company. It's called Untamed Tallow, premium all natural tallow bombs. This is their card. If anybody wants to look them up, they come to the Sarasota Lakewood Ranch Outdoor Market. They are online. They're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and what's the @ sign? That's not LinkedIn. I don't know what that is. Probably just their plug at Untamed Tallow. There you go. I'll try to get that in focus. Yeah, really good products. You can shop online. They have lip balm. They have moisturizer and the pain cream. Amazing. Comes nice little jars. So all organically sourced. That's my little shout out of the week for you. And you'll be, I don't know, hopefully you're not injured and don't need to be rubbing your body in orange tallow. Or you will look like
Well,
Trump.
I probably will.
You will look like the orange man.
Orange man bad. All right, what are we talking about next?
What do you got?
I have a whole bunch of slides.
Well, okay. It's related to anything I'm thinking about. Everybody, this week has got me thinking, we talked last week about our trip to Austin, right? And being at the graduation and Mother's Day weekend. Well, the month of May is always a big month because it's our anniversary coming up. And ironically, it happens to now, I think, be a theme. You can thank or hate your bros for planning your kite surfing getaways during this anniversary again. Thankfully, it's not a big one like when it was our 30th, but the 32nd anniversary coming up on the 24th. So yes.
Which is Friday.
Everyone can cheer for us. Tim can cheer because I remember the date. And
yeah, which is almost a miracle.
We spending it apart again. 2 years ago, I bought him a garage condo for our 30th wedding anniversary. What are you getting me this year?
A giant martini glass.
I'll take it.
From a roadside gas
gas
station in South Carolina.
Okay, so cheers. Everybody raise a glass, toast us. I'm sipping from my fine wine glass, courtesy Crate and Barrel. It was featured on what was that show with Carrie? Is it Walsh? Carrie, I forget her last name, where she was the fixer. We watched a little bit of it. Remember? It's all about the presidents in Washington. You forgot the name of it.
Scandal.
these were on Scandal all the time. She drank wine. I think she was a semi-alcoholic because she was drinking wine continuously. Anyway, Crate and Barrel.
Well, her character was. Whether Kerry Washington is a different story.
Oh, Washington. No. The character. All right. So I am celebrating, and I'm just going to say it right now. I popped open this. It is to our friends that live in the Oregon area. You must check out Moore Family Vineyards. It's red blend, one of my faves. They have one called Radio Red. I like the regular better. So just letting you know, Ange, red blend, and amazing. And
I'm drinking.
That's what I'm sharing tonight.
A giant tub of Blue Shark.
Now,
with a
you've
blue
been
shark in it.
clearly into that bottle.
Well, somebody has.
At
Probably
some
me.
point. Blue Shark vodka. Fascinating.
It is really good. It's from North Carolina. The guy that owns it his name's Mark something or other. And I talked to this gal in I think it was in Manteo, which is not far from here. And she's like, he goes to all of these liquor stores because North Carolina has like a liquor commission, almost like Canada, where you have to go to the state-run liquor stores. And he visits them, and he's an amazing marketer, and they call him Mark the Shark.
Of course they do. That's spectacular. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So cheers to Mark the Shark. He
Mark
makes some
the
good
Shark.
stuff. Yeah.
Cheers to Mark, and cheers to Angie and the Moores at Moore Family Vineyards in the heart of the Willamette Valley, Sweet Home, Oregon. Amazing winery, wine tasting. They've been so great to us, and we've had their beverages on our show a lot. So anyway, cheers. We're celebrating. All right. So 32 years. What do you got to say?
I got a lot of
Oh, you
slides.
found that. Oh my goodness. All right. So for those of you listening, Tim popped up the picture where he's proposed to me. And
I just got to find the correct layout here.
that's fine. He proposed while we were getting our graduation pictures taken for med school. I think I told this story before. He was acting really weird. That day, just really weird. I figured something was up. Didn't quite guess. But anyway, I just had my picture taken, posing. Yes, we were the red sash from medical school. And look at the Colonel Sanders bow tie. Anyway, and he just proposed. And I thought, oh, never thought it would ever happen. And here we are 32 years later.
There you go. And then this is what happened next.
That happened 3 months after the proposal.
4 months, but who's counting? February 14th. No, it wasn't the 14th. It was the 13th because the third.
That's called
14th,
3 months. February to May.
To May.
That's 3.
March, April. Yeah, I guess 3 months. You're right.
Yeah, because I planned. All right. You proposed in February. I landed in the hospital for a full week after my ACL reconstruction that I did on my holiday time at the end of our 5th year, or I should say 4th year of med school. Sorry, I'm thinking old school. I was in a hospital for a week with an ACL repair. Oh, those were the fun days. And in fact, I also got to be a guinea pig for as a test case for Toradol. Everybody knows Ketorolac or Toradol injectable, or now they make it pills. Well, they were at the university hospital where I was at was a part of the study, and they would put that shit in my ass every 6 hours.
They injected it IV.
I had it IM because I remembered how much it burned, and I finally said, "What are you doing, and what are you giving me? And do I even need this?" Anyway, enough of that. I was in the hospital for a week. So then I was recovering at home for the second week, planned the wedding. Mom came down to help me out, and we got married in 3 months. So that picture of us, the wedding photo, is ode to the late 80s and early 90s when all of us women had the big dresses with the headpieces, as I call it, the big bow tie on our butt, I had the Cinderella gown, and I was taller and still am taller than you today.
Yeah.
As you could.
With the activities I've done over.
You took that pictures down. That you took the picture down, but you were sporting the lovely.
Well, I'll put it back up.
The lovely stash, and look at all that hair you had. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Aren't we cute?
Disappointing. So then, look at that one. That's in Flint Lawn.
I was at my The next photo he's showing is us. And that is my 10-year high school reunion. And this year is my 40th. And am I going? No. I kind of should. It would be last minute. There's been horrible forest fires up there. Anyway, look at how young and cute we were.
Let's keep going. We've got lots. Okay, look. This is us now.
Okay, that was
1 year ago. Look at that.
That was a year ago.
How good we look.
Look at us.
Amazing.
We clean up pretty good, don't we? Look at us.
Yes. So if you're listening to this on a podcast, go to Rumble, YouTube, watch it. It's all good. You'll enjoy it. Look at this. So here's a theme. So I kind of tried to go with a little bit of the 4 Fs. Obviously, there's not going to be like financial pictures, and it's really hard to do a lot of the faith-based pictures. But I guess Iron Maiden's sort of faith, right?
No,
so there's sort of an Iron Maiden. There's kind of an Iron Maiden theme. So that's us in Vegas at an Iron Maiden show.
And this is us at our So for our 25th wedding anniversary, we left.
No, that one is in Vegas. That's not in London. We did see.
I thought it was.
We did see Iron Maiden for our 25th anniversary in London. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, we left the child behind at home alone, went to Europe for 3 weeks, and he survived, although the dog almost drove him insane. Let's just say. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. So yes, there we are, Tim and I. And you know what? I enjoyed Iron Maiden. We do fun stuff together, go to shows, go to, concerts, traveling. Look at us, all so cute on a.
I think that's on a cruise.
That was on a cruise that we went with my sister and her husband at the time in the Caribbean. This is us working together. We've had so much fun working together over the years, and I kind of miss it. Although doing the podcast together is work, so we still get to work together, and we've always been able to. I think people ask us, how do you actually, a lot of couples can't work together.
Because we're equals. When we're not equals and we work together, we don't work together.
Yeah, we told that story a bunch of times, how when I played your nurse for a while, it was not fun. But you're right. In medicine, we are equals. And I don't know, we've always been supportive and helpful, bouncing ideas off each other. This is us at the beginning of our podcast career in our studio.
That is a really, really good picture.
Makes me. It's the yin and yang right there. Although there was another picture I sent you. I think it was me in the lab coat and you on your Harley. So here's another picture of us having fun. There's a theme so far. I'll see if anybody starts to notice it. You can put it in the comments. But somehow we always seem to be doing one person's activity. You saw the Iron Maiden. Now you see us skydiving in our regalia. What else you got? What other photos? All right.
That was you. This was all you.
All me. This was my first half marathon race for my 40th birthday party. It was my 40th birthday in Victoria. And that meant so much to me because Tim ran the race with me mostly, but he had to finish first and ahead because he couldn't.
Well, by like 8 inches.
Couldn't run at my pace for the whole thing for his official time. But yeah, that was so awesome because you've been a runner your whole life, and there I am, starting in my 40s. It was a short run, literally, because by the time I got to 50, a hip replacement took me out. So, yeah. All right.
There you go. Look at that.
if you can't see this
Look at
picture
that thing.
very well,
That's completely ridiculous.
in the back is
That
a
completely
Corvette.
ridiculous.
And it's actually a family photo that we did in Saskatoon that Grant, our friend, Tim's junior high school, lifelong friend took. He's a great photographer. And the posing was awesome because I didn't put the kids in there and they don't like to be part of our stuff and I don't blame them. But the looks on their face was all serious with attitude. And I just love this picture. I don't know. I should get that one up on the wall again. Anyway, this is more me.
This is your
I'm all about
activity.
I'm all about
hiking.
I'm all about hiking and the outdoors. Sadly, there's not quite those kind of hills here in Florida, let's just say. And when we were in Austin, Texas, I went on a little hike. I was so yearning for the green hills again. But that's what trips are for, and visiting friends. So that was a fun little hike we did. That's literally in our I think that was close to, that wasn't our backyard, but it's close to our backyard where we used to live.
Well, that was about 45 minutes away.
I look at that and think, why did we move from that? And then that's right, because most of the time gray and rainy. So
right.
That's us taking advantage.
No, most time you see nothing except gray and communism. So that's why we left. Oh, all right. There you go.
Tim's team again. Saskatchewan Huskies football team.
Rough Riders.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our colleges. Excuse me. The Huskies. This is the Rough Riders. It's not the Husky college team or university team. But I love live sports. And so if it's a live sporting game, I'm there and I'm all in. And that was fun when we went back home. Now, this is us showing our true colors. This is hockey. And this was just this last year in Tampa. Tim's team is Calgary Flames. I'm all about Tampa. And a little rivalry was going on that day. But
Calgary destroyed. Clearly,
as usual, Tim wins again in the sporting department. But I'm a good sport. Now,
there you go.
This picture that we're sharing talks to the fun that we like to have in the ridiculousness. This is our friend's trailer trash party. Oh, the Kimballs had the best party with our friends Bruce's. And we had this theme that I think there's some cussing on your overalls if I look closely.
Yes.
That's hidden. So we have this. Oh, look at those biceps you got rocking there too. So we had this theme that we did for years. And I think your name was Billy Ray. And I started off as Madge in this big, huge fat suit. And then over the years, Madge, she had a sex change. And so then that picture is me dressed up as the new and improved version of Madge. And that was Kelly, who then transitioned back later on. And then I think Madge was put to rest when she suicided or something because I got tired of playing the character. I showed up one year and they're like, "Where's Madge?" I'm like, "She died. She got so depressed after all the sex changes.
She got the diabetes."
So that was a pretty funny picture of us having fun dressing up for Halloween. So lots of good memories. Looking through those to find those for this slideshow tonight, which makes me smile, and I can't wait to have more fun memories ahead. Do you think we'll make it another 32 years, everybody?
That
would make you almost 92. 91.
I think that's unlikely.
And I think that is very unlikely. Unless
I think that is unlikely.
The blue shark leaves
but it's unlikely.
The building right now and you make some major life changes.
I'd have to quit everything I do that's fun. Well, except for maybe one or two things. Everything else.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should read Peter Attia's book and see if you can fight time and make it to
whatever
90. I, on the other hand, have a better chance of making it another 32 years, I think, based on my family history. But who knows? We'll
Yeah, I think so.
see. We'll see.
We
Anyway,
will see. You'd be
cheers
surprised.
again.
All right, tomorrow.
This has been fun.
Tomorrow's episode.
Oh, wait. I must say, I hoped, as we talked about this, that we would share we shared the pictures, but people like to hear stories and all that kind of stuff. So what's been any like special highlights from the last 32 years that really stand out to you?
Well, I think
we'll do the low lights last.
no, I think this is the critical piece of the puzzle. And it's the real glue. So if you're going to ask that question, I'll give you a very honest answer. The answer is, you get me. And that is the highest praise and the highest goal of any intimate relationship. Because there's times when you get me and I don't get me. And that is that is so unbelievably, I think, unusual and rare. And it should be absolutely treasured. And when you look at those pictures where, you're coming to my shows, you're doing my sports, and then we're kind of reversing that, and I'm doing some stuff that, I wouldn't normally just go on a hike for fun, but, I like, it's what you want, and I like that, and it's exercise. I ran that half marathon with you because you needed a coach, but it's not it's the you get me. Because your goal in a marriage is not to love your spouse. The goal in your marriage is to like them. And people that get you, you like. Right there. Put that one in the bank. That is it. If you get that and you focus on that, the rest will take care of itself. But that's it. You want the highlight? That's it.
Love it. That was amazing. I'm supposing everybody wants to hear from me. My share.
Yes.
I would say, for all you dudes listening, to what I, as a woman, have loved and cherished over the last 32 years of our marriage, is that you treat me with love and kindness, and you listen to me, even though you are the talker in the relationship, and that I always feel like I'm safe with you, and I'm cherished, and I have total trust that you got my back, and that no matter what, you're going to take care of us, the family, and the relationship. And so I would say that listening is so important, not fixing a problem, but just being heard. And that's cherishing your wife, not tuning out, not trying to fix a problem, loving her for who she is, being best friends. And I think, for me, that really is what a woman wants, is to trust their spouse. And, we've had, and we shared a lot of my struggles throughout our marriage, because I'm the one with all the emotional ups and downs and insecurities, it seems, mostly. And I would always feel like I could share my deepest insecurities about our marriage and how I was feeling, and not be afraid of how you would react, or that you'd, sometimes, we'd have little fights and you'd freak out. But I knew that the marriage, that you thought the marriage was more important than either one of us alone. And I was so trusting of that. And the respect that we both have for it, that I could share all of my insecurities and know that you would have my back, that you'd be there, even if it meant you had to give up something that was the most treasure important to you, whether it's material or goods or work goods, or it meant moving or living in a trailer. Just, I always felt that security. And I think that's what most women want, is to feel secure that their husband is going to take care of them. And I'm an independent woman, and I could be alone, live by myself if something happened to you, and take care of myself. But do women really want that? No, they want a man that is going to, I think, take care of them in a relationship. Subconsciously, I think women really want that.
At least
I don't think. Yes. Now, it doesn't mean women want to just give up and let the husband take care of them, but it's that knowing that someone's got your back, that you can trust them, and that they can take care of it. And that's it. If I had to try to if I could write it, I could probably put it into better words.
You should write it. I'm going to answer some questions. Larice asked about love with the like. And our version of that, and we have talked about this a lot, is as Christians, you're commanded to love your enemies. And we think love is very volitional. So like is harder. I think it's harder to like your spouse than to love them. You know, the person that you want to come home and tell stories to, the person that you want to share your life with, and just hang out with, I think is a much harder equation.
Yeah, I think so. I was going to just say, like, I think an easy way to kind of put that in perspective is if you have pets or kids in your life, you know, there's times you unconditionally would die for your children. You love your pet. Say you don't have kids, you have pets. You know how you love them, but there are times when, man, those little toddlers can piss you off, or your pet takes a big shit in your house, or you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't really like you now, right now. You're driving me nuts. But you always know that you unconditionally love them. And I think in a marriage, there's times when for me, and I think I'm speaking for men too, is that there's like ups and downs where I even think, man, I don't feel that, you know, when we first fell in love, all that warm fuzzies. I want that whole, you know, Sleepless in Seattle, Cinderella stories, like swooning, heart throbbing. And some people say that they have that all the time. That comes and goes in seasons of life.
You know who says that? You know who? Liars.
And so,
liars say that.
And so, but I always know that because of the meaning of love through better and worse, and that it's always there. And sometimes it's really seems really ugly. It's just like, we're struggling right now. But if someone asks, I'm like, of course I love you. Liking takes more. I think it's harder. It takes a lot more work.
Yes, it does. So Desiree asked a question. I can only hope to find what you all have one day. Going on 5 years as a single parent, and it's become harder and harder to find someone who fits your description. The problem is this. You don't find someone that fits the description. You become the person that fits the description, and you grow together. So yes. The issue is not finding somebody. The issue is finding somebody that's willing to hold your hand, scared absolutely shitless, and jump out of the plane together, understanding that you know nothing, but you'll figure it out no matter what happens. That's the issue. It starts with the commitment. It starts with understanding that you don't know what you don't know. This is going to be a tiny bit crude, but it's me, and I'm drinking. It's understanding that you're young, dumb, and full of cum, and you have to sort through all of that insanity together, and you will do whatever it takes, short of homicide, to do it. So the issue is not the right person. The issue is the right attitude, and I guess finding the right person that shares that right attitude. That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
You find someone that shares the right attitude, you could marry somebody with like 2 heads.
Stop. But I want to just put my part into this. So yes, it was all perfect Cinderella story for me at the beginning because I thought Tim was the perfect guy. And then after
Wow.
what year was that? 90
90?
I don't know. No kids yet. 95, 96. I went through a massive crises. How that was only, 3-4 years into the marriage, and I was unhappy. My career wasn't filling me up. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Tim's happy. He's having fun. And now, the honeymoon's over and this is bullshit. And he's not making me happy and he's not fixing my problems. And so once the honeymoon phase was over for me, I was like, well, what the heck? This is a downer. This is a total letdown. And most of that was really all on me, 90% of it, because it was how I was looking at the situation, my attitude, and expecting him to fulfill all these needs. Now, in a relationship, yes, there are criteria that we talk to our kids about this. You got to have your list. Now, your list can be 20 to 100 things long, and it gets to the point, it's like, what's good enough? And we talk about this a lot, like what is enough? And there's some non-negotiables, like it's like these top 5 things are so important that someone's got to come with this in the package. The rest is important, but like you say, is it enough? Are they pretty enough or active enough, or do they work hard enough? Blah, blah, blah. That no one is going to be perfect unless you're,
No, but that's
so it gets to the point where you have to make your list and then find somebody that is willing, and that's the part that to share that same passion, to commitment to the marriage. And you know what? Yeah, it's a chance, because sometimes it doesn't work out where both people are equally committed as time goes on. But if you don't take a chance, you'll never experience greatness. Well, and so all of this has taken work, and all of this has sucked at times. And we talk about how twice throughout the marriage, it's like at the 7-year and the 14-year mark, I was so sure that I was supposed to leave, and that it was time to pack it in. So, nobody gets to the Olympic gold without putting in a lot of work. And so a good marriage requires the same. And there's shit that happens and injuries, just like in any athletic endeavors of anybody that achieves excellence. There's always crap behind the scenes you don't see. And so you have to do all the mundane day-to-day shit to get there. And so, yeah, I think your point is perfect to answer, though, is that perfect person exists for nobody, but, make your criteria, make sure you're working together and committed to the same values and beliefs. And it does happen. And sometimes when you stop trying and looking is when it happens most.
Right. And like, I think the enough list is really important, because you're going to have, 2 or 3 really non-negotiables. Right. And so it goes back to our 4S: faith, family, finances, and fun. If you get those 4 things figured out in the enough list, and then everything else is peripheral, right? So then they have to share your faith enough. They have to be on board with you as far as whether you want kids or not enough. They have to be financially responsible enough. And they have to be committed to doing the recreational things that you love enough, whether that's running marathons or going to the theater. It doesn't matter. But that stuff is a real game breaker if it's not there, because that's how you like your spouse. It's by hanging out and doing cool things together. So you get,
and it's not always, I would say it's not always, sometimes not even always together, because we do a lot of things apart. I'm trying to get you to do more gardening and play cards with me.
Yeah, I'll play cards. I'm not gardening. That is completely.
It's not quite enough for me.
Totally off the table.
But but the negotiation is if you work a little more financially to pay for the gardening help or what I do, then it's enough.
I will
So there's
100%
always
do that
negotiation.
rather than gardening.
Right. But so there's always negotiation. And Tim and I, the other thing it sounds like we're always doing everything together. And in fact, we used to do a lot of things. And I think if we're honest, I would bend and do more of the things he liked to do to try them out. And it was fun and I enjoyed it. But we do a lot of things apart. Our hobbies, and when it comes down to it, are quite different. And so we have to learn to do something together, and we're conscious of that. As I get more injured and older, and I can't do as many of the athletic things, especially the things that Tim's into, then you have to just not negotiate, but agree to set a date time where you're going to pick an activity you can do together. So there you go. But anyway, Desiree, you will find I'm not even going to say soulmate. You will find the person, because I think everybody has so many soulmates.
Find a soulmate.
You will find a mate.
Right now, we can end on this.
You will find a mate that fits, that fills your soul.
But you do not find a soulmate.
You make a soulmate.
You make a soulmate.
Yes.
Because you become the person that you need to become to be this. That's the key. Like if you have an enough list, like
I think the other big thing that we're not talking about here is that as you learn to love somebody else, the needs that you have, I mean, they're important and can never be forgotten, but you find yourself wanting to be more involved in the other person's needs and activities. It does have, I think that's a big hint there, Tim. You become more involved in the other person's needs.
You do.
And activities.
This is crazy.
Well, it's nice.
What's happened to the lighting?
Yeah.
Because my lighting is freaking amazing, and it's all gone black behind me over the last 48 minutes, and I look amazing.
You do
look amazing.
That's a beautiful filter you have.
It's no filter. That's me. I'm a little, as they say, Rubicon of visage, red of face, because I do not believe in using much sunscreen. I think that your body should adapt to the massive cancers. And I'm with a bunch of guys from Canada, and it's like I'm living with vampires. No, they're all vampires. They're like you can't make whiter things.
Hey, we were once vampires coming from the
and they crawl out of their little vampire dungeons to go outside in the sun and have to shield themselves with sunscreen in the shape of a cross and a silver bullet, so they don't. I mean, it's. And I'm waking up and I'm like, I'm getting a freaking wooden stake, and
that's funny.
It is. It's like if you have lived in Edmonton for the last year and you crawl out of your cave, you are scared absolutely, honest to God, shitless of the sun.
But they look so good when they're our age, because they're not photo aged. Oh my goodness.
They're completely not photo.
Any other comments on there, or are people done hearing about our glorious marriage?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a book there.
Oh, there is. And
I think there's a book there because it's actually the issue. Look, you want to find a high quality person that is your equal in intellect, emotional intelligence, spirituality, take your picks. That's true. No question. But there's literally millions of people out there for you at that level. So the question is, what are the principles that guide you in picking that person and then bulletproofing your marriage? And, maybe that's the book, Bulletproof Marriage.
Well, maybe we need to write the chapter together.
because that's the
or the book together, because we both have different perspectives on all of it.
well, we
And
do, but we share the same principles. Our perspectives are different, but the principles are exactly the same. And that's the bottom line, right? Like it's just this
Right.
idea. Everyone has to get over the concept that somebody is going to make my life better. You're not. You are going to make your life better. You are going to make your spouse's life better. And when that happens, and when your marriage is bigger than either partner, when 1 + 1 = 3, the magic happens. But
Right.
that's the attitude you have to have. If the attitude is, I got to find someone to complete me, you're done. Like,
Yeah,
you'll never be successful. That's an impossibility.
Jerry
Like
Maguire. I don't know.
yeah, like
I-
no, but that like literally that is an impossibility. Like the reason it sells is because that's what everybody wants, or
But on
that's what
some,
everyone thinks they
I'm
want.
going to call BS a little bit on this, because on some level, I think the pieces of the puzzle for us do fit together, where we complement and complete one another. There's friction, and sometimes, the Rubik's Cube gets all in a knot and twisted turning, but with, mature communication and listening and changing, we do complement and complete one another. I disagree.
Yeah,
But it
we
takes
do.
work. It's not like it's just a magical thing where you find
but we also complement each other because we've been put in the frickin' rock crusher together. We've been the ice. We've been the ice in the martini shaker getting pounded around. So you're almost forced to do that. Okay, and that is a very good thing. So, anyways, I think this is great. I think this will become several podcast episodes, and I think it will become a book, because
we get asked this all the time.
yeah, we get asked this all the time. Like, what did you do? I don't know. I have an unbelievably girthy intellect. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say?
You do. Your head is huge.
No, look at those pictures. My head is like, it's preposterous. It should have antennae growing out of it. It's ridiculous. Like, my head to body size ratio,
like those. Maybe
level.
think of those things we had. That game we didn't have Mr. Potato Head when we were young. Remember that game Cootie? Does anybody remember that?
No.
You didn't have Cootie?
No.
Where you had to make this. It was like a big ant, and you rolled the dice, and then you got to put it together. It was like so stupid. And there was a body, and it had this big head, and then it had these curly antennas and legs. Cootie. Look it up. Maybe it was a Canadian game. Anyways.
Probably. Okay, so we have to address tomorrow.
Yes.
Thursday, the 23rd. Right. We must address that, because tomorrow's episode is going to bend people's minds.
Yes. Okay. I tried to share a little bit of it last night when I was at home group Bible study without you about this. I didn't get into it too much, but I'm going to say his name wrong.
Eben
Alexander has an amazing book that we both read. He has multiple books, actually. And the one we mostly discussed talks about his near-death experience and his perspective on the afterlife, spirituality, how it changed him. And he also talks about the physics involved in our spirit, our soul. He goes into quite a bit of detail on his actual experience and how it wasn't just a mind meld, his brain neurons freaking out when he was sick in a coma because his brain was not working. And he has one of the most unique experiences documented around the world, and has become like a world authority now on near-death experiences, researching other people's, as well as the physics of spirituality and what that whole world. And so, fascinating interview to hear what happened to him, what he thinks of as the soul and the spiritual world, and how we perceive time and space, in our linear brains, is so narrow-minded, and how to try to grow that even without having a near-death experience. We talk a little bit about meditation. Tim and I have looked into using, and you probably more than me, the binaural beats that can actually help you,
dude,
relax, focus, get creative.
That is 100% real. I guarantee you.
So
that is a real thing.
I'm not going to say any more because I want people to listen to the podcast or watch the interview. Spectacular.
All right. It's time to go because I have a problem I need to solve, which is I need to watch hockey because the Florida Panthers are playing the New York Rangers. So, and I think my cohorts in the house want to watch this, and I'm out here hogging internet. So it's been fun. This is good. This is a good discussion. I didn't want to get self-indulgent about our pictures, but it brought up a lot of emotion. It was nice to be able to share kind of, what we think made it work. So I love you, sweetie. I'll see you in a few days.
And now that you're in a blackout behind you, it is time to go. And
look at that. That is like, what an
awesome,
unbelievable studio outside.
It's like a green screen. It's a black screen. It's perfect. Anyway,
because I love it, I'm going to remove both of us, and I'm going to have Bill O'Reilly sign us off.
All right. Cheers. I love you. Here's to another 32 years with or without you.
Yep. All right.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible. We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.